Okay, let's unpack this.
No.
We've got a whole stack of recent updates on the Toronto Maple Leafs, and it's a lot. We're talking high-stakes team changes, some pretty concerning health news, and then the whole emotional side of the Olympic roster announcements.
Yeah, it feels like a really complex, pivotal moment in the season for them. And the sources we're looking at, a lot of great insider stuff, they're stressing that these are not minor tweaks.
Right.
These are big decisions. The defensive core, the health of, a superstar player, and just the mental state of guys learning their Olympic fate. It's a lot to handle at once.
It really is. So our mission today is to just slow it down a bit, pull out the most important bits of information from all this news, and really try to get the why behind these moves. For you listening, we want you to grasp the long-term impact of all these rapid changes.
Exactly. We're going to hit three main areas. First, that sudden shuffle on the blue line, a veteran call up there. Second, the growing concern around William Nylander's injury, and a curious decision in goal. And finally, how Team USA and Team Sweden's Olympic picks are, lighting a fire under Matthew Knies and Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
It all really speaks to a search for consistency and depth, doesn't it?
Or the lack of it, yeah.
Okay, so let's jump right in with the blue line, because it feels like this is where management just said, all right, enough, we can't wait anymore.
I think so. And for fans watching every game, this probably wasn't a huge surprise, but it was inevitable. Matt Benning is making his season debut for the Leafs.
Up from the Marlies.
Up from the Marlies, replacing Phil Myers in the lineup, and that tells you they're looking for an immediate, stable, internal fix.
And this is where it gets, pretty blunt. The reason for pulling Myers is it's tough but necessary.
Right.
He's really been struggling.
Oh, massively.
Yeah.
And the sources, I think it was Elliot Friedman at Sportsnet who mentioned this, they don't mince words. A lot of glaring mistakes is the quote. These aren't small baubles. When you look at the stats and just, the eye test, it was obvious. Myers was on the ice for 3 goals against in their last game.
3 goals?
But the bigger issue, the systemic problem, was his pairing with Morgan Rielly. The source material called that pairing just abysmal.
Wow. Abysmal. And when your D pair is actively hurting your top offensive defenseman, that's not just a problem, that's a crisis.
It's a structural crisis.
Yeah.
Rielly needs to drive offense, but he has to have a reliable partner who can make a clean pass and cover for him. Myers just wasn't that guy.
He wasn't providing that stability at all.
And that is exactly why Benning is getting the call. He's not flashy, not at all, but he's a known quantity. He's 31, he's got, close to 500 NHL games played.
A true veteran plug-and-play guy.
That's it. And Coach Craig Berube's evaluation tells you everything you need to know. He called Benning a competitor, a first pass guy, and said he moves well and competes.
Let's focus on that first pass guy detail for a second. That feels very specific, very tactical. For a team that can get stuck in its own zone, that sounds like a deliberate choice.
It's the key point, I think. It's not just about defending. A good first pass is the start of your offense.
Yeah.
Right? It cuts down your D zone time. Myers would sometimes struggle with that under pressure. Benning, who had a pretty good year with the Sharks a couple years back and has been decent for the Marlies, is expected to give you that clean, simple exit. Get the puck to Rielly with speed, not with the defender on his back.
So this isn't just scratching a guy for a game or two. This feels like a vote of confidence in their organizational depth.
It speaks volumes. It shows they're willing to look past the guy's veteran status if the performance just isn't there. They have, and I quote, faith in their depth guys. For Phil Myers, this could mean he's sitting for a while.
And for Benning, this is a massive audition.
Huge.
We know Chris Tanev is out long term, so there's a hole there. The message to Benning is basically, here's your shot, show us consistency, and you can stick around. The sources suggest these guys feel that pressure not to waste this opportunity.
Absolutely. And that internal competition, it just elevates the whole group. That's what the Leafs need right now.
Okay, so from a move made to create stability on the blue line, let's pivot to the instability in the medical report. The news on William Nylander is, it's getting genuinely concerning.
It's very worrying, especially for a player who has been historically an absolute Iron Man. He's now set to miss his 4th straight game with this lower body injury.
But it's the language that's changing, right? That's the real flag for me.
That's the alarm bell. It's shifting fast from the usual day to day.
To now we're hearing slowly week to week.
Yeah, and even the phrase month to month is being floated as a possibility. For a guy who, like you said, has really never missed time, That kind of escalation is something you have to take very seriously.
That kind of vague timeline suggests something that isn't just healing with a few days of rest. And for a team gearing up for a playoff run, losing a player of his caliber, I mean, it's devastating.
It is. I know the team's been getting points without him, but let's be real, they're a much, much better team with him in the lineup. He was their most dangerous forward for the first half of the season.
For sure. So this brings up some strategic questions, doesn't it? If he's potentially out month to month, what does that do to their thinking at the trade deadline?
That's the million-dollar question. Does it make you more cautious? Or does it force your hand to go out and get some top six insurance? Because you just can't count on when he'll be back.
It completely changes your cap planning and your asset management, a huge layer of uncertainty.
It really is.
Okay, another health-related decision. Let's talk goalies. Joseph Woll is projected to start tonight, even though Dennis Hildeby is coming off what the sources called a fantastic game.
On the surface, it seems a little strange, right? Why would you bench the hot hand? It makes you ask, are they prioritizing psychology over pure performance here?
That was my exact thought. Woll got pulled in his last start, which can be a real confidence killer for a young goalie. So the motivation here seems pretty clear. Get him right back in there, let him get his game back.
It's an investment, a psychological investment in the guy they see as their starter.
But it's a gamble. Hildeby played lights out. You're potentially leaving a win on the table to manage Woll's confidence. Is that the right call right now?
Well, I think they're betting that a quick, successful bounce-back game builds more long-term confidence than an extra week of practice would. They can't let him sit and stew on a bad performance for too long, especially with Anthony Stolarz still out.
So it's a move that tells us they value the mental state of their number one goalie above all else.
Even if it creates some short-term risk. It's a very calculated decision.
All right, let's move to maybe the most emotional part of all this recent news, the Olympics, and how the team selections are affecting players, specifically Matthew Knies and Oliver Ekman-Larsson.
Yeah, two completely different stories here. We'll start with Knies. He was really pushing for a spot on Team USA. The report is he was pretty disappointed after not making the cut. And even though he knew that forward group was incredibly deep, it still stings to be left off that stage.
Of course. But disappointment can be a powerful fuel, and it seems like that's what's happening here. The narrative is that this could give him a massive chip on his shoulder.
And we already have proof of concept. There's an anecdote that the night after the roster came out, Knies went out and just, quote, beat the brakes off an opponent. That's frustration being channeled into fire.
That's exactly what you want to see. For a young power forward, that extra motivation to prove people wrong could be invaluable down the stretch. Hopefully this fuels the motivation for the rest of the year.
Right. He's not just playing for the Leafs now, he's playing for some personal validation.
And, hey, the silver lining for the team. He gets a much-needed rest in February during the Olympic break. For a young guy in his first full NHL grind, that's a huge physical benefit.
It is. Now, let's flip that coin. You contrast Knies' appointment with the pure validation for Oliver Ekman-Larsson, OEL, making Team Sweden.
Which was so well-deserved.
Absolutely. He is having a fantastic season. The source material even called